There are over 2,000 minifigures in LEGO Star Wars, so naturally, a lot of them are referencing very specific moments in the Star Wars franchise. Like when Darth Maul made his comeback in the Clone Wars TV show, or when Palpatine said his famous line in his fight against Mace Windu.
I am the Senate.
There are so many you can find. So today, I'll be going over 22 references in LEGO Star Wars minifigures, starting with when Luke and Han disguise themselves as stormtroopers. Now, if you've seen A New Hope, you know exactly what scene this is from. Luke and Han need to rescue Princess Leia from the Death Star detention block, so they knock out two stormtroopers and steal their armor. It's one of the most iconic scenes in the entire original trilogy, and it's been recreated in multiple LEGO sets. The UCS Death Star from 2025 comes with both Luke and Han in stormtrooper disguises. But it's not just that set. The 2016 Death Star had them too, and even the original 2008 Death Star had these minifigures. LEGO has made this scene so many times because it's just that memorable. I mean, the whole "aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper" line is one of the most quoted moments in Star Wars history.
Short for a stormtrooper.
So of course LEGO keeps bringing it back. But speaking of stormtroopers, the 2025 UCS Death Star also has one of the funniest minifigures in the entire theme, the Hot Tub Stormtrooper. Now, if you've never played the LEGO Star Wars video games, you might be confused by this. But in LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, and LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, there's this running gag where you can find stormtroopers just chilling in hot tubs around the Death Star. It's completely random and has nothing to do with the actual movies, but it became such a beloved Easter egg that LEGO decided to make it a real minifigure. So in the 2025 Death Star set, there's literally a stormtrooper relaxing in a hot tub, which is super funny. But let's move on to another iconic moment from the original trilogy: Han Solo frozen in carbonite. In The Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader captures Han in Cloud City and uses him as a test subject for the carbon freezing chamber. The whole scene is super intense because nobody knows if Han will actually survive, and it ends with him getting frozen and handed over to Boba Fett. It's one of the most dramatic moments in the entire original trilogy, and LEGO has recreated it multiple times. The carbon freezing chamber set comes with a Han and carbonite piece, and so does the massive Betrayal at Cloud City set. But here's what's interesting. The Han and carbonite piece isn't even technically a minifigure. It's a printed tile that looks like Han frozen in carbonite. LEGO's used this piece in so many sets over the years that it's become one of the most recognizable elements in the Star Wars theme. But Han getting frozen isn't the only iconic moment from Cloud City. There's also the legendary duel between Luke and Darth Vader, which is where the "I am your father" reveal happens.
I am your father.
This is arguably the most famous plot twist in movie history, and LEGO has made multiple sets based on this scene. The Bespin duel set is specifically designed to recreate this moment, and it comes with Luke in his Bespin outfit and Darth Vader. The set even has a weather vane that Luke can hang from after Vader cuts off his hand. But the bigger version of this scene is in the Betrayal at Cloud City set, which has the entire carbon freezing chamber and the duel location, so you can recreate both iconic moments in one massive set. Anyways, let's talk about another iconic moment from The Empire Strikes Back: Luke training with Yoda on Dagobah. This is where Yoda teaches Luke about the Force, and it's where we get the legendary
Do or do not. There is no try.
The Dagobah Jedi training diorama set is specifically designed to recreate this moment, and it comes with Luke in his Dagobah training outfit and Yoda with his walking stick. The set has the swamp environment, Yoda's hut, and even the X-Wing sinking into the water. It's one of the most detailed diorama sets LEGO's made for Star Wars, and it perfectly captures the feel of that training sequence. But now let's jump to Revenge of the Sith, because there's a minifigure that captures one of the most emotional moments in the entire trilogy, when Anakin officially becomes Darth Vader. At the end of Revenge of the Sith, Anakin and Obi-Wan have their fight on Mustafar, and after Obi-Wan wins, Anakin is left in pretty bad shape, but the worst for him is yet to come. He finds out that he killed Padme in his rage.
It seems in your anger, you killed her.
Which is exactly what Palpatine wanted. He's never been more vulnerable, so Palpatine takes the chance to make him a fully fledged Sith Lord, and puts him in the suit, masking him as Darth Vader. It's the most memorable scene in the prequels by far, and the Emperor Palpatine's shuttle set comes with an Anakin minifigure from right after the fight. Inside the ship, you can put Darth Vader's helmet on him, recreating the scene, which is super sick. But there are also minifigures recreating the fight itself. Obviously, one of the best moments from the fight is the "You Were the Chosen One" scene.
Chosen one.
because it's one of the most tragic moments in the entire saga. The duel on Mustafar set recreates a small part of this battle, and it comes with Anakin and Obi-Wan in their Mustafar outfits. It isn't very big, so it's not like you can reenact the entire fight, but it's a good set for displaying. Obviously, Anakin was never the same after this fight. And in The Empire Strikes Back, there's a brief scene where you can see him in a Bacta tank getting medical treatment. It's easy to miss because it happens so fast, but it's one of the only times in the original movies where you see Vader vulnerable and injured. And the Vader's castle set comes with a Vader minifigure that's specifically designed for the Bacta tank. If you only casually watch the movies, this one might go right over your head. But let's jump to Return of the Jedi, so we can talk about Emperor Palpatine in the throne room. The Emperor's throne room diorama set recreates the final confrontation between Luke, Vader, and Palpatine, and it comes with a Palpatine minifigure that has lightning hands. This is referencing the moment when Darth Vader finally breaks free from Palpatine and throws him over the edge inside the Death Star. Another iconic moment with Palpatine is when Mace Windu and the other Jedi try to arrest him when he was still the Chancellor. This is the scene where Palpatine reveals himself as Darth Sidious and says the legendary line,
I am the Senate.
It's one of the most memed moments from the prequels, and LEGO has included versions of this scene in various Coruscant sets over the years. The minifigures show Palpatine in his Chancellor robes before he transforms into the Emperor, and it's such a pivotal moment in the story. Oh, and of course, it's also where he says his famous line, "Unlimited power." But let's go all the way back to the beginning, to the Phantom Menace, because there's a small minifigure detail in there that's easy to miss. The duel on Naboo set comes with Qui-Gon Jinn, Darth Maul, and Obi-Wan, and it's recreating their fight in the Naboo generator. This is where Darth Maul kills Qui-Gon, and it's one of the most shocking moments in the Phantom Menace. But here's the thing, the Qui-Gon minifigure has two different faceplates, and one of them is very reminiscent of his face when he dies. It's not explicitly labeled as his death face, but if you look at it, it has this pained, exhausted expression that looks exactly like Qui-Gon in his final moments. We all remember what happens next. Obi-Wan cuts Darth Maul in half, and he falls down a shaft, and everyone assumes he's dead. But in the Clone Wars, it's revealed that Maul survived and got cybernetic spider legs to replace his missing lower half. The Mandalorian speeder set comes with a Darth Maul minifigure that has these mechanical legs, and it's such a specific reference to the Clone Wars. Like, if you only watched the movies, you'd have no idea why Maul is still alive or why he has robot legs. But if you watch the show, you know this is one of the most important plot points in all of Star Wars. But now, let's talk about Padme in the Geonosis Arena from Attack of the Clones. This is the scene where Padme, Anakin, and Obi-Wan are chained up and about to be executed by giant monsters, and it leads to a massive battle. LEGO has made multiple Geonosis Arena sets over the years, and they all come with Padme in her torn white outfit from that scene. It's one of the most iconic looks for Padme, and it's instantly recognizable to anyone who's seen Attack of the Clones. Another key moment from Attack of the Clones is when Obi-Wan investigates the clone army on Kamino. This is where he discovers that someone ordered a massive army of clones without the Jedi knowing about it, and it leads to his fight with Jango Fett. LEGO included Obi-Wan in his Kamino outfit in loads of Jedi Starfighter sets over the years, and it's referencing this specific investigation. Another Clone Wars character that's gotten multiple minifigures is Captain Rex. He's one of the most beloved characters from the show, and he's a clone trooper who fights alongside Anakin and Ahsoka throughout the Clone Wars. The minifigure that's most iconic is Rex in his Phase 2 armor, which he wears during the later seasons of the show. This is also the version of Rex who resists Order 66 and removes his inhibitor chip so he doesn't turn on the Jedi like all of the other clones. He's one of the few clones who stays loyal to his Jedi friends, and he becomes a huge part of the rebellion later on. Speaking of the rebellion, let's jump to A New Hope, because there's a really specific minifigure that most people forget about. In the 2011 Millennium Falcon set, there's a Luke minifigure wearing a blast shield helmet. This is the training scene on the Millennium Falcon, where Obi-Wan teaches Luke to use the Force by having him deflect blaster shots from a training remote while wearing the helmet. It's a quick scene in the movie, but it's an important moment because it's the first time Luke actually starts to understand the Force. One of the most important minifigures from that era is unmasked Kylo Ren. In The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, there are several scenes where Kylo takes off his helmet and reveals his face as Ben Solo. These moments are crucial because they show his internal conflict. He's He's trying to be like Darth Vader, but he's struggling with the light side of the Force. The unmasked Kylo Ren minifigure appears in sets like the Battle on Takodana set and the Snoke's Throne Room set, and it shows his face with the scar that Rey gave him. It's a very specific look that captures his character arc throughout the sequels. But one thing I haven't really touched on yet is the Mandalorian, and there's a minifigure that just came out and it's already become iconic. Grogu in his hover pram. Set 75403 is literally just Grogu sitting in his hover pram, but it also comes with a little minifigure version. In the show, Grogu rides around in this thing because he's too small and tired to walk everywhere, and it became one of the most recognizable things from The Mandalorian. The Lego version is built to scale and has all the details from the show, like the closed canopy and the hovering mechanism. It's such a simple set, but it perfectly captures one of the cutest moments from modern Star Wars. But now, let's talk about one of the most controversial minifigures in Lego Star Wars, Darth Jar Jar. For years, there was a huge fan theory that Jar Jar Binks was actually a secret Sith Lord who was manipulating everyone in the prequels. The theory got so big that it became a giant meme on the internet, and eventually Star Wars themselves leaned into it. In the Dark Falcon set, which is an alternate universe version of the Millennium Falcon, there's a Darth Jar Jar minifigure. He's wearing Sith robes and has a red lightsaber, and it's Lego's way of acknowledging the fan theory. It's such a ridiculous and fun reference that you can't help but love it. But this next minifigure is one of the weirdest ones in this whole video. Now, obviously, Lego's made special minifigures for the Star Wars advent calendars before, and most of the time they aren't canon. Like, when have you ever seen Darth Vader in a Christmas sweater? But this C-3PO is actually canon. In The Rise of Skywalker, Babu Frick was accessing his memory and needed him to translate something in a Sith language. However, C-3PO was programmed to not be able to do this, so to make it happen, Babu put him in a restricted mode which turned his eyes red. So even though this wasn't as cool as C-3PO turns to the dark side, the minifigure is definitely still referencing something very canon to the story. But what was your favorite Lego Star Wars minifigure reference? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.